Survivors, welcome back to ARK Survival Ascended. Today we're back here at the Redwood Castle ruins, continuing our work on rebuilding them bit by bit. Of course, we started here at this side gate in the very first episode. Then we moved on a little bit to the courtyard. We added a guard post, rebuilding this ruin right down the corner, as well as adding the tower on top and a little building, as well as the first building of the main town. Now, instead of doing all the other town buildings, which is going to be very similar, I'm going to be moving on a little bit and focusing on the main castle here, as well as some of the towers, to really get some good progress in, and then we might get back to some of the other buildings as well. But yeah, there's a lot of cool main castle bits to work on, because there is quite a big castle here. There is the main building. There's a little gap here at the back that definitely needs some repairing, you know, needs a little gate there as well. We of course have the main gates with the beautiful awesome bridge right in front of it, and yeah, plenty of cool towers and wall pieces that in some cases will need to repair and make, you know, whole again and look good again, but I think we will manage. But yeah, today we're gonna, I think we might start on this tower. I'm quite excited to try something funky with that, and then we'll slowly start working on this main area, clearing it up, getting the gates in there, and then maybe even getting a start on the main castle, depending on, you know, how long it all takes. That's always the question. We'll see how long it takes and how long I can go for, because it's once again quite hot, and this little shark might be boiling soon. Might be boiling real soon. But anyway, guys, hello there. Welcome in, welcome in. GP Farm H Roxy, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome into the stream. So yeah, let's get this going. I did not clear up my hotbar at all. I've got all sorts of crap here, but I also do have some of the things that I will need today, so that's good. I guess we'll start with those. I've got a lot of crap on me, actually. Lots of crap. I should have really cleared my inventory. I've been building like 3 different builds, and I just got slight spoilers here in my inventory. You know, all these things I've been using. But hello there, welcome in everyone, welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, it's basically, the stream is going to be how long till I melt, or how long till we complete the castle. But I think melting will happen first, which is not great, not great. So yeah, I kind of already placed down these foundations here to line up with the middle of this walkway, as well as relatively nicely with the rest. I tested this. This is the best way to do it. So these two, lining them up quite closely with these edges here and with the middle. Basically what I did from here, placing them from the inside here, lining them up with the middle of the walkway, because now once I start doing this will all line up pretty nicely. But also once we start going in with our shape until we get to basically a circle in the middle, that kind of lines up pretty nicely, you know, lines up kind of nicely that way. So that's why those are there. And it even gets better, because now if we add these two, you know, we can change the snap points. We can add a few foundations right here, and then before you know it, we will be inside of this building as well. I guess we probably want to switch back the snap points, but I also kind of want to keep them like this, because I need a door somewhere there. And then I guess we could get the whole thing going again, because that probably, hopefully, lines up pretty well. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And I guess we do want to use this tower as a part of the build, because it already has a staircase all the way up as well. So yeah, if we fill this part in, it also means that we can decorate and use this as part of the base. like, you know, if as soon as you've got the foundations down, it's basically part of your building. So it's quite nice to be able to do that all from the same grid. That kind of saves us some trouble of getting like multiple grids going. It should be a relatively nice fit. I don't know how far that is gonna that's gonna stick out a little bit too much maybe. So I don't know if we want to go that far, which is not great because ideally you would also have these, of course, although those you don't really notice too much. So we might be able to get away with having, oh no, having a few of those in there. Can I even can get that triangle ceiling in, but doesn't want to have me place the next one, but at least we can have those a little bit. We can place these, see if those lap out. Not too much. I think we can get away with that. So yeah, we want to have the full foundations there. They are kind of covered up, so that's nice. So only this side seems like it is not gonna... Well, actually, we might be able to get a door in here and make our way onto those battlements. So that is not too bad in general. And then I think here we probably just want to go for the quarter pieces just to keep things easier. Come on. There we go. I saw you there. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna just fill this in for as much as we can. Just so that we can utilize this room, and we might as well wasn't too much trouble. And that basically means that, yeah, you can already kind of utilize this whole shape. Yeah, okay, I guess the next one would be... Can I even fit the wall in there? I can. There we go. So yeah, that would mean nice little entrance here. It actually works. It's always a nice surprise when it just works right away. And of course, we'll skin these to the Castlecraft skins. But yeah, that means that this whole room we can already use until we build on top of the tower, because this is one of the towers that, I mean, there's some big holes in there, but at least it has an access way all the way to the top, completely intact. It's got some nice gaps here and there, which we might or might not fix up. Like some of these do let in a nice amount of light, of course. Guess this is the, yeah, this is the floor underneath it as well. So from the ground layer, you would be able to add in a floor, but there wouldn't be a way to add in the stairs because there's no connection unless you would go from the outside. But I think we'll probably keep those separate. But yeah, that is pretty nice. And I guess then inner circle and then the outer circle here, I guess. And then probably we'd want to have some things like this to kind of fill up the gaps. Because otherwise it's kind of weird if it's just floating about, right? So probably something like that. Maybe like this. And then probably just like that. Can't fit that one in, but at least then it's not taking over too much. I think that's what we need there. We'll have some of these underneath here just to make sure there's no weird little gaps. There we go. So yeah, that should all fit in. And then here at the start of the stairs, we probably want to add those so that the transition is quite nice into this main bit. I think that will work. And then we can of course add a few parts here where we do actually add the roof and ceilings. Yeah, this will be a template that you can't use anywhere else except if you place it specifically here. Yeah, I don't think I'll be bothering templates for any ruins because they seem to be very fickly where they want to be placed for normal things. There we go. That's quite decent, I'd say. Not half bad, and then we probably want to add a nice railing around it. Got the little half pillars at the end. Quite like the look of those usually. I guess we can't really get the right ones. Oh yeah, making templates definitely my favorite pastime. Hello there. Left Crosswind to join Rag. Yeah. We decided not to do another stream because there was no way we were gonna catch up to do the boss fights to get to Tortuga before the deadline. Hopefully next playtest we'll have a little bit more time to play it, but now the kind of all the new stuff all arrived at once. But I really did enjoy Crosswind and I really want to play again sometime. At least I got to finish my build. There we go. I think what we'll do next, I think there's probably some cool arches. So what I kind of want to do is go around with these. Kind of to make, I mean, a really cool, unique tower up here. Because this is kind of like the inner tower. So it doesn't need to be too defense focused, right? Like it's kind of the inside of the whole thing. So just having some cool arches to look around, I think will be quite cool. We kind of still have the old battlements, but maybe we want to add in some battlements or something around the edge to kind of just improve that look, since they will line up a little bit nicer than the old ones. And then of course over here is where we're gonna have a nice entrance. Well, at least that's what I hope to get. There we go. How? There we go. I don't know why it's having such a hard time. There's very easy snap points there, you would think. Am I really not allowed to just place this door where I want it? Really, ARK? Like I can play it there. Why can't I place it there? Wait, is it just because of those? Oh, it is. What the heck? That's weird. Oh, it is. Okay, well, I guess we won't have another doorway in there then. There we go. Can't have the center door inside of an arch, apparently. Okay, let's get rid of the rain. But yeah, I think these arches are going to look quite nice. Actually, let's get out the castle skin at least. Probably won't get all of them out, but pretty sure this is the one we need. Yeah, like get those nice arches in place, which is already a pretty nice look, I think. Yeah, snapping can be pretty weird because even if you have all the rules allowed, then apparently you can't have a door within a gate. Well, there's not even a gate, there's just a gateway. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. We can work around that. There we go. So yeah, let's just, whilst we're at it, just skin this entire floor, make it fit in a little bit better. There we go. And then we'll just go all the way around. Does really help instantly, of course. It looks a lot better with the skins applied. Fits in a lot nicer that way. Might as well do this bit because otherwise I'll probably forget about it and never do it. There we go. Snappable door and gateway, yeah. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. There we go. I'm pretty sure there's some nice variants for those ends that we want to use, but for now, we're just gonna casually change these skins. Oh, I definitely forgot some pieces in here at some points. Changing the basic looks, especially for this part of the castle, because this is kind of done once we have the skins in. Then you have this tower to be used. There we go. Change all that, and we should have a nice entrance there. And of course, if we want to, and I can find my tools, there we go. Wait, there's not a rounded door? I guess as soon as you close them, yeah, then they will appear to fit in there. That's not what I want. There we go. That's the one we want. The castle doors. Alright. Focus on our main objective of the day, which is this one. I do think that I want to try and add in some battlements around. Just because the old battlements are not really lining up, of course, nicely with the main build. And I think if we add these, it will look a little bit cleaner, at least from the outside. There we go. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of this which isn't isn't pretty. I guess we could change those out with just normal ceilings. Probably should do that. Probably should do that. So we want to change these for ceiling pieces. I can't even place that ceiling in. Oh, I can. There we go. Just because then we don't have that awkward little edge on the outside, which I think is going to be worth to remove it. Because, yeah, now it's clean, and otherwise we have the weird little edge. The Viking Longhouse, nice. Hello there, Foxcry, welcome in. So yeah, definitely is going to be worth changing these out for these ceilings. Oh, I did my little my little pillar go. We'll wait until we've got it all changed again. The reason I'm doing one by one, by the way, is because I think if I take both out, I'm gonna lose my gates, and then we basically have to do everything again. So we're just taking this as safely as possible to make sure we don't lose too many progress in the build by removing like all the pieces. I guess maybe these two. There we go. Okay, now we'll do triangles. Awesome. I guess a lot of these were already triangles, maybe? Yeah. Kind of forgot that we already had a part triangle. So yeah, now it's a lot cleaner. So that was definitely worth it. Why is there an RG here? There shouldn't be any creatures here. Sounds like it's stuck again somewhere. For some reason there's creatures spawning like inside buildings here. There we go. Alright. We'll have these. And we'll have that. Yeah, he's like right next to me. Yeah, see? He's spawning inside the building. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude. Oh. There he goes. He's being slowly but surely forced out. Okay, awesome. All right, so we have this as some kind of, well, very fancy place. You know, some nice views around here. This would be a cool place for like a transmitter or maybe a teleporter, you know, to get into your build. Would be quite a good spot for this. Then, of course, we need to figure out how to start working on the next area. Remind me of the pillar options. Yeah, we do have a round one. Oh, we have actually 2 round ones. We have those. But I feel like a round one in a round build is the best. Because I think they might still be a bit visible. And we're going to need some of those pillars just for the fact that otherwise we can't snap anything on top of these gate posts. And I actually think I might want to go one taller. That's a full foundation again. There we go. Yeah, I was gonna do this earlier, but then some things, you know, prevented me from streaming anything earlier. And then I was gonna stream yesterday, but I was kind of ill yesterday. So I didn't stream, but we're here. It's still, it's very hot. So there's always something trying to keep me from doing it. But I was like, well, you know, let's give it a go. It's been a while. I want to finish this castle as well because there's so many other cool ruins here on Ragnarok that I would love to build. Yeah, this place is gonna take forever. This is a pretty big castle, to be fair. Like the swamp castle would probably have been a bit quicker to do. If you don't count all the other structures right outside, of course. Okay, there we go. So we have some of the things in place. Now, the main problem is, of course, these gaps. The question is if I do this, yeah, that does keep support. Okay, so I guess that's what we need to do then. We need to have these temporary ceilings in. Then the temporary triangles next to it. Just to get up to the next layer, and then we can do all walls all the way around. There we go. And if correct, I should be able to take it all away. And we'll have our next layer. Just like that. Very nice. Yeah, because what I think of doing is we're going to have a little bit of a roof, but we're going to have a smaller tower maybe continuing upwards. I think that could be nice. So I'm guessing this isn't going to be a transmitter spot for me if I'm going to do any of the... What? Why did I delete everything except the one I was looking at? Oh, ARK. There we go. So this does mean this is probably going to be the inner tower. So yeah, basically we're going to have a little walkway around it, and then we're going to have the inner tower that will actually go up. So for now I'm just going to do these layers so that we kind of can still see it, and we can work on the roof for the first layer. And then we might add some extra details to these sides, of course, although this is an interior wall, so probably doesn't make too much sense to have a bunch of windows, except at the very bottom, I guess, because the arches would still bring in a bunch of light. So we could technically do it there. There we go. I mean, I guess it would still be a good spot to park some of your pterodons and RGs, because you can definitely park those on the outer ring. Okay, there we go. So that's the entrance. That's how you're gonna get up to this level, and then from here we should be able to hopefully follow the shape of the whole thing. Oh god. There we go. So that would be roofs, roofs. Just like that. Okay. And then we need our triangles. I probably have some somewhere. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so we have those, and then of course attached to these we'll have the next layer, which should all neatly line up with that tower. There we go. Yeah, I think we can make something nice about this. Feels pretty cool to have those layers in there. And then of course we want to fill in our last missing roof pieces to get this tower going. There we go. So yeah, that's kind of like the first layer for this. And then I do think, if I remember correctly, there's gonna be the possibility to do these for little eaves around it, I think. So it's gonna look a little bit silly, but I promise it will all make sense. There we go. just all the way around like this. And then one of these, there we go, that's the one we're looking for. It won't be perfect, but it will be good enough to just add that little ledge around us. There we go. Without any hassle. Any difficult moves. There we go. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to click a few times to get this done. But when we do, that will look pretty nice, I think. Okay, last two. Last one. There we go. So yeah, that little circle around, it's gonna look quite nice. Okay, maybe let's skin this entire side of the build, because otherwise it's going to be hard to judge. There we go. God damn it. I'm gonna misclick so many times, aren't I? There we go. That's looking nice. I guess I need to, yeah, the outside. That's where I need to be. Awesome. And we'll just go all the way around, getting these skins in place, slowly turning it into the castle of our dreams. And I guess I better do the roofs as well. Okay. That is pretty nice. Yeah, I like the look of that. Do you have a vision for the final build, or just winging it stream by stream? I am most certainly winging it for this build. But to be honest, for ruins, that's usually the easiest. What about having those round windows above the arches? Round windows? Oh, you mean right here? I don't think I want to have too many. Maybe we'll have some of those in the tower. We might have some windows here though, because over here it might be quite nice to actually have some of those. Actually, I might do that. Not at all spots, obviously, because that would be a little bit much, but maybe in a few. Maybe something like that could be nice. Of course, I also need to figure out a staircase up, but that is, well, that is not a problem for another day. That is definitely a problem for right now, because we need to start working on the rest of the tower, and knowing where the stairs are going to be is going to be important. Do like the open view. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a great spot to park some of your flyers, like these inner arches. All right, figuring it out. Where is the stairs going to be? Well, the good thing is, of course, that we have tiny stairs now, so we don't need to waste too much space on going up. The bad thing is that I've added windows in every single spot where I could have those, except if I start here. Oh, I guess the issue still would be that, yeah, if I do a triangle, which I have to do here, it's gonna stick out. I guess that is still not an option in rounded tower. I'm used to having CKF stairs, which you can do basically anywhere. So for this one, Still slightly problematic. Probably easier to just go with the ladder, to be honest. And you're probably not going to go up to this tower very often. Like, let's be honest. If this would be your actual base, whatever is in that tower, it's probably mostly for show, right? You wouldn't want to have something that you need every day up there. Okay, let's add in the windows. Yeah, tiny triangles would be a safer, because now we could have a tiny staircase, but not really in a round environment. Oh wait, is that not okay? We can't have. Did I use the right window? No, I didn't use the right window. Do I need to use the trim, or did I need to use a different piece altogether? I keep forgetting. Okay, let's see. Oh no, there we go. Like that. Which one do we like more? Kind of like this. This looks nice. Okay, so we need the castle skin on the inside is fine, but we need the trim on the rest of it. Yeah, we could make the big central spiral. That probably is what I would end up doing, because it doesn't feel right to have a tiny stair like ladder in there. At least not on this size. Okay, there we go. We have the windows in. Wanna copy those around. There we go. Lovely. Oh no, that's not the right one. That's the right one. Okay, awesome. And then the rest of this I can definitely just skin up, because it doesn't really make sense to have any other windows in this part of the castle or tower, because you wouldn't see anything anyway. Okay, don't misclick, please. Especially not the trim pieces. There we go. That is looking quite nice. And I would probably go, yeah, for the rounded shape on those. There we go. Yeah, that's quite nice. We could, of course, add in some pillars. Let's see what we want to do once we get up here. Yeah, I guess we could just go for the big staircase in the middle. The only downside is that it does take up a lot of space, so it wouldn't be a very useful tower anymore. Yeah, you can paint it, but it does look like it does lose a little bit of the texture that it has. At least when I painted it white, it lost a little bit of black there, because this has like a lot of nice textures and a little bit of different like shades of this color, like different amounts of like light and dark. And I think at least when I painted it white, it kind of all was the same white, very white. But that could also be white, to be honest. Like, white sometimes behaves a little bit weirdly. But if I compare it to CKF, that usually keeps the maybe the wood works better. Like these beams maybe work fine. But yeah, the stone, at least in my opinion, I wouldn't really paint it. Because it loses all the nice texture. Unless, of course, you're going for that very clean look. You could. Alright, so this is probably the layer that we want to go to for now. So I'm going to build up that one a little bit more. At these. And then I think we want to add in the ceilings all the way around. Okay, well, this is... These spiral staircases are so weird. Because they kind of don't line up with the other ARK build pieces, which is very strange. But I guess we'll start it from here and have it go down. There we go. Yeah, the shark is not going away. He's here to stay. He never stands out. He always perfectly blends in. There we go. All the way up. Yeah, that works. Alright, well, we probably want to have some windows and details on this layer as well, of course, because otherwise it's a little bit bland. But what I'm thinking of doing is, for this layer, we basically go into a little bit of a tower like this with some nice battlements to break up this one. Yeah, railings on the staircases would be quite nice. Sometimes skins do it. I don't know what these look like with the skin. No, it doesn't seem to get a railing. But yeah, railings on these would be very helpful. Oh, there is a railing variant for these. Oh, that is perfect. That is perfect. Yeah, let's definitely get those. That is awesome. That is so much better. Except over here where it kind of clips. But hey. Can't have everything, I guess. Okay, so yeah, the idea is that basically we want to have more battlements here. To go around. And then we're going to have a tiny tower in the middle. Basically something like this kind of tower. Actually, could we just copy this tower over? Would save a little bit of work. This is a pretty decent tower. We could just quickly template that. Get that over there. You know, that's the real use of templates. Because that's probably... Because we don't have a lot of options there. If I'm just going to build another circular tower, it's going to be exactly like that. So I might as well do that. And then we just have to make a few adjustments probably to line it up with what we have and then detail the main bit of the tower. Alright, let's do it. We'll have to do it manually, maybe? I don't know. Well, let's try our luck. That isn't actually too bad. We just need to deselect some structures because obviously the foundations here is not something we need. So we need to deselect a little bit. So hopefully we can deselect all those things. Oh god, I can't get in. There we go. Now I can get in. Okay. Because yeah, we definitely do not want to have the foundations in the template. It is a very empty tower on the inside. That's fine. Let's see if there's any other structures here that we do not want to take with us. Because it will not let us... Oh, it wasn't foundations, it was pillars. We could have used those, but I guess we don't want those. We just want everything above. Okay. And then we can actually copy the banners and the leaves and stuff. I don't think I mind those too much. Well, we'll see if we can get it facing the right way. There we go. Copy. I'll just call it copy. So I know that this is something that... Oh, apparently I did that before. The build's going pretty nicely. We're working on this big tower, but we're now copying over that small tower. Hopefully. Oh, wait. I thought I deselected all those things. Well. I guess it still works. We'll just have to change the bottom layer a bit. Is the flag still going the right way? I don't see the flag. Oh no, the flag is going the opposite way. So let's try this again. So yeah, we do want to have it snap like that. Oh god. Yeah, no. The flag is going completely the wrong way. But that's fine. At least it will be a lot quicker to build it this way, I think. Okay, so we're just gonna hope that ARK behaves, because it doesn't always behave with templates, but we'll see. Hello there! Welcome in, Abby. Welcome in. Yeah, opposite wind currents today. I mean, also we have a door that's way too high, but we can change that. Also, yeah, you know, just ARK things. Just ARK things. It's fine. This will save us a lot of time, though, not having to build this entire thing by hand. I guess if you're trying to follow along, you better go watch the other episode of this to build along with. Okay. So for some reason, it has decided not to build this door. And this is one of the things currently definitely wrong with templates, because there's no reason it should not be able to build this door. There's just a normal wall, because as soon as I take out a door now, like if I get rid of this tool, you know, and I just pick up my door and I do this and oh, look at that, I can just place it. Who'd have thought that? Which is really annoying. check out all these. What did I do here? I think these are probably trims. Yeah, for a lot of those windows. It's going to be a trim. No, I don't want a template tool. I want my gun. Really should have cleared my inventory before starting. Hello there, Sarge. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, the wind will fix the wind. Okay, so we'll have a few of those windows around. Yeah, they definitely still need a good few fixes. I've already given some feedback, like being able to remember the exact skin placement just as it does paint. That would be a good one to introduce, because otherwise any build with skins, it's still kind of pointless to use the template, because then you have no clue what to add where. But also just like little things like it should have been able to place all the things in this template that I just used, and it didn't. So there's definitely still some fixes that needs to be, you know, but hey, maybe they will. Hopefully they will. Hopefully it won't be too long. I probably just had these here, did I? Oh no, I did have the trims. There we go. Okay, copy those. Get those all the way around. That is a nice window. I guess that is the window. Oh god, I hit the window instead. Yeah, why not? I guess really it should be the same window as these. Yeah, maybe add those on all sides. That could be quite nice. Wait, is this a window wall? Yeah. There we go. Copy the skins around. Make sure to add in those. Oh, we also want to do it here. There we go. Add the windows. Yeah, definitely just the first option. Oh wait, why is that? Oh yeah, there is a longer one. No, we don't want that. Those look pretty nice to me. That breaks up that tower a bit more. It is a little bit of a shallow tower now, all the way to the top, but you know, that is fine. We can maybe add a little bit more supports to that. I guess I don't want to do that where we have the windows, but in between we can maybe add some sections of support. I think we could probably do some pretty cool. Would also be cool if wildcard used the same textures in the runes as the structures. Yeah, cosmetics to match the exact textures would be really cool. That would be great. To be honest, I think instead of doing all those crazy creatures, if they just did more cool cosmetics that fit all the specific maps, that would be way cooler. And way less broken. Alright, let's see, because I think... maybe I need a trim piece. Yes, that's what I need. So basically we're gonna give the tower a bit more support this way. So it's gonna look a little less thin out here. A little bit more appropriate. We're gonna get the arches in underneath these. There we go. That's a good start, I'd say. We definitely do want to have pillars at the end of those as well. But now, if we look at it from a distance, it doesn't feel like it's there out of nowhere. Definitely still need the castle behind it, of course, to make it really fit in place. But it's a decent start. That's for sure. Do I need thin pillars here? Or just full pillars? Let's try both. Oh god. Okay. So yeah, because the thin pillars already get a little bit thicker, so they might actually work very nicely. Yeah, so that one... I guess the thinner one would probably be the one I go for. Although the big one is actually also quite nice. Maybe I'll actually go for the big one, because especially from a distance, I think we won't be able to see the small one as well. Okay, so we'll start with the pillars all around. There we go. Then the half pillars. Okay, well, that's pretty nice. Oh. So we only need to change these top bits to get the nice little end on there. There we go. That already looks quite nice. And then, I mean, we probably want to have at least a few windows in here. Probably on the opposite ends of all this. There we go. All of those. And I think we'll probably go for the nice circular windows, because now they will be probably a little bit better visible than the ones we have below. So we'll just skin everything but the ones that we need to be the trim pieces. There we go. Copy those. I did need the trim pieces for that, right? Keep forgetting, but I'm pretty sure I do. So we want to have the blue windows, I think, and then we'll have the circular ones. There we go. I feel like something isn't right. This one is not in the right spot. All the other ones aren't in the right spot, to be fair. But, yeah, this one definitely isn't in the right spot. Yeah, I don't want the window to be too big here, though, because otherwise it will be going from roof to the top, which I don't really want for this section, because then it would go from all the way. So I kind of want a bit of a smaller window in here. Oh, that's not the one I need. I need the trim. There we go. And then these as well. There we are. Okay. Well, that's definitely an eye catcher. That is making this castle feel instantly more rebuild. I feel like it would be quite useful to have a little bit more definition to this tower. So I don't want to have the pillars everywhere, but just a few like this to kind of add a little bit of depth to the place, I think would be nice. Probably the round ones. Quite like that. Feels more dynamic. And it also matters less that we couldn't quite fit them all the same directions. There we go. So that kind of breaks that up a little bit. Yeah, quite like the look of that. Oh, there's a lot of birds out here. I guess it doesn't have a middle, because otherwise we could have done this, but we could probably still get away with that. At least from the outside it will look pretty nice. Would be nicer to have those on the front though, and we can actually do that. We can actually do that if we wanted to. Because all we need to do is, if we get rid of these two, we can have our quarter roof pieces. And then... oh man. There we go. And then we do this. There we go. Yeah. I think that is definitely... we're definitely going to have to do that. It's going to be a little bit of work. But I think it's going to be worth adding those in. There we go. Yeah, but then you have to build one yourself, and I think the small size works quite well for these sections. All right, let's see if the snaps want to work with me. There we go. Yeah, I think that's going to be quite nice. Just those little extra things to break up this big roof. Then we definitely want to add a little bit more details around the walls, but we can of course add in some banners there as well. Because this tower definitely feels like a bit of a statement piece almost for this castle. There we go. Oh god. Oh. It's giving me the snap. Somewhere down there is the snap. Awesome. Do that for all the sides. And then we can add... Oh, what did I do? Add in those little roofs. There we go. Yeah, it's nice. You know, like subtle little additions, but it does break up the roof enough to make them stand out a little bit more, which is definitely what we wanted. And then of course we still need to fix these pieces up here as well. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we have this room complete. So we could also look at doing something on the top here. You know? Oh, look at that. I've not been getting a lot of thatch, apparently. Exposed. Alright, so what I'm thinking is, because there is already kind of a tower there, I don't want to go too high, but I think what I want to do is do kind of like a square tower on top of the round tower, just to break things up and also just to build something a little bit different than what we have built so far. So I think we kind of just want to have that shape on top of here, so that we can have a bit of a proper tower to defend ourselves, because this is definitely one of the towers out here facing the bridge, so it would be used for defenses, right? I It's only so ugly with all these foundations sticking out. Well, it wouldn't be a good spot for a temple in the front of the main gate. That's the place to get attacked. We're gonna have like a little gardeny area around here. Like, because there's like the water places already. So I'll probably do something fancy over there. Yeah, I guess we're always gonna kind of clip in a little bit to these, so we'll just live with it. I think we'll just go for it. We'll just go for building right on top of here. Because I kind of like keeping this tower mostly broken. Because it is intact enough to be useful. Whereas if we want to do anything with the other tower, we're going to have to do a bunch of rebuilding. That might be tricky because I don't think the... or without using tricks, we won't be able to use a circular thing. But we could use the circular template, I guess, to get a circle going. Maybe. Not really touched any of those proper circles ever, so... We'll see. We'll see. For now, I think we'll just do a relatively simple-ish tower here. We definitely don't want to go too crazy high because it's already a pretty high building. But of course, it will need to be decently high at least to be useful here. I think over here at the front, I want to at least be able to get out from this spot. So we'll have a door here so that if you wanted to, you could still get out here and stand on these battlements. Okay, well, we're gonna raise this up. So right now we're 3 high. Maybe like 7 or something would be a decent height without going too crazy. Or maybe 8, so it's double the size of the foundation. So what we're kind of will be doing is, first off, we'll build out like the skeleton, so just a shape, basically a box. And then we'll go around and start detailing it, of course, because we can't just leave it a box. Okay, well, I think here what we want to do is I probably want to bring in a few different skins. I'm not just going to use the castle tier, but we'll also use a little bit of the village skin. So at least for this roof, I think we'll bring in the village tier. Okay, I guess I need to flip those. Wait. Do those need to be on the other part of this? I think so. There we go. And I think we can even improve this slightly more by adding the final corner pieces in here. Because I think it even has options for those. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And then flip those around. There we go. So yeah, then it's just like a little side building with tiny overhangs. There we go. Definitely also want to have a door here. I do think I want to go for this door because I don't know, just something about this. I always love going away from the default ARK shapes. So yeah, I think that probably would work quite well. You know, adding a little bit of a side building there, making that side already a little bit more interesting. Of course, we're going away from the symmetry, but I like doing that with castle builds. Then I think I want a little addition to the build over here somewhere. Gonna use those floors because then I'll be able to snap those as supports. I guess we could also have some small supports on the sides if I wanted to. And then we definitely need some windows on the front, of course. Here, we'll just have normal walls on the side. We can have normal walls there too. That means we can clear up a bit of these walls here. Yeah, probably just gonna keep it as is. We might make a whole floor there. Don't know about that yet. But we'll definitely have these going on. There we go. Normal roof. Always feels a little bit weird placing this all down like that, but it is what it is. So yeah, I think we're gonna make this one out of the village tier completely to really break up the textures for this layer. So we're gonna have the wood as well. Then we'll need the trims for underneath here. There we go. We actually also need windows in here. Okay. There we go. And then we just need to flip them. Or Awesome. Then I do think, there we go, there is some nice variants for those to be used. And there we go. We have a little addition here on the front to change up that shape too. You know, just to make it all a little bit nicer. We definitely want to have the battlements here at the top, because that is going to be basically the whole point of this tower. So we want to have, copy those. This is on a pillar, a full pillar. Always forget. So we at least want to have the full pillars on those corners, but then we should be able to get a pretty nice top to this tower. Oh wait, that's variance, it's not rotations. Oh, that's helpful. That makes this way quicker. All right. So there we go. That will be the top end of the tower. Do we add a little bit more detail in by just having some pillars? Probably, because otherwise it's gonna be a bit of a boring shaped tower, to be fair. There we go. And this is the awkward part where it's kind of just floating, but we can still walk past it, which is good. Which is definitely a good thing. I guess that just means we can have some proper big windows on some of these sides. Like probably that big. Oh boy. Better pick the same size now. Did I? I think I did. Should be able to see. Yeah, there we go. We did. We did it. We lined them up. Okay, so that's gonna basically create some really nice big windows along the sides, I think. So yeah, some nice tall windows. There we go. Bring in the light. Looks a little bit silly now, but once we get done, it will be very nice. So yeah, we can use the castle skins on these. Same over here. Yeah, probably just go for the normal basic windows. Same over here. Awesome. What do we do for the pillars? Do we just keep the normal ones? Do we turn them into anything more fancy? I don't know. All very good questions that need answering. There we go. I guess we can skin the parts that we are very sure about that are not going to change, which is also this entire front bit, or at least a lot of the front. Yeah, the front is the most complete. Well, actually, no, this side is complete. Because there's not really anything else to add here. So that's pretty nice. Oh god, why did I do that? Why did I misclick? There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad. So yeah, that side definitely feels complete. Not much to add there. Or not much that I want to add there, at least. Probably some banners and making it overgrown and stuff. Do we want to add anything over here? There we go. Well, actually, a little trophy, if I can find it, could be really good here. Add a bit of detail. Do we want to have one here? Why not? Could be good detail to have. Because then we don't really have to do anything else here either. Oh no, they're not part of the trims anymore. I need the actual... Where is it? There it is. I need the actual decorative piece. Well, in that case, we can change the rest of this. Dragon head feels appropriate there. Maybe the wyverns on the side. Change it up a bit. There we go. We want to add in, of course, a ceiling here. I think we'll have the staircase here at the back because that would be the safest spot, right? There we go. So that's where the staircase is going to go up. Yeah, that feels fine. And we could perhaps add like a balcony on this side, but probably the first thing to do is add in the staircase so we kind of know where to line up what. So yeah, we have the entrance there. We have another exit at the front. We have this floor. That should be a floor. Well, actually, will that be a floor? Because the floor should actually be one lower. So it might be something like this instead. So yeah, we'll do something like this, and then we can probably make like a custom little entrance here. Okay, we need a pillar like that so that we can snap the railings in place. Oh god. How many hours do I have? Quite a bit. At least in Ascended. I don't have that many in Evolved. But yeah, I've got quite a few on Ascended. There we go. So yeah, that would be a little entrance to that side. And then I guess the real deal is starting this staircase going down. So yeah, this is where we would turn around again. Well, it depends on what rates. But I don't think that's particularly good. Unless you mean the points, because then it would be pretty insane. Okay, so yeah, this would work. We would have to have temporary pillars. All right, let's see which we can add in without any issues and which we'll have to do a little bit magic for. Oh god. There we go. Awesome. So the last one. Get those snap points in. Yeah, I really hope they fix all these snap points for the quarter pieces quickly, because then this will all be a lot easier to do. But yeah, this will be our staircase up to that layer. I think that means that we could have a balcony over there. I think that would make sense. You know, to just get a nice proper balcony. Do we want to make it a little bit bigger, maybe? Round it off like that? We can add in these. And of course, add in some of those as well, so that we have some trims going around it. Although I'm not quite sure how well those will work actually on a balcony like this. We might have to adjust things to make that make sense, because I kind of want to have these trims around them. There we go. So yeah, it kind of needs this to be a bit more than for it all to make sense. There we go. No problem. Okay, so yeah, we just have to add a little bit more bulk to it all, but that is totally fine. Okay, there we go. We won't have any windows or anything below this. There we go. We will, I think, just add in a bunch of these things, then get the trims out again. There we go. I think that is a pretty nice amount of detail. Oh yeah, this would be really nice. Can I flip those around? I can. Perfect. Can the trim skin on quarter ceilings? Oh geez, there's too many things in this. Wait, but that's just the same thing, isn't it? Is that different? Oh, it has the thing built in. That's quite nice. That's quite useful, so you don't have to add those manually anymore, I suppose. What did I just do? I just wanted to change my door. Or did I skin the door? I probably skinned it. Just wanna... There we go. Okay, well, we'll definitely need a few additions here. Because otherwise I still kind of have some gaps around the balcony. But I think if we go for... Wait. What the heck? Oh, only the half pillars have those ends. I guess we could use those. Let's see what the half pillar looks like here. Is that tall enough to fit in here? It might be. Yeah, it might be better actually, not stick out too much. There we go. Awesome. So yeah, that's a nice balcony to look out on over the rest of the castle grounds that are slowly forming all the way around it. And then I guess we are going to have this staircase come down. And then the last part is just gonna be this. Perfect. Okay, so overall not too bad getting the staircase to fit in. Nothing too crazy. There we go. I'll definitely want to change these to the tiny pillars instead. There we go. All right. So it doesn't take in too much space, which is always good. We have this layer on the inside to utilize, and then all the way up to the top. There we go. Now, it would be really nice to have like a trebuchet, but unfortunately, we don't have those anywhere yet. So we'll go for just a regular old catapult on top of here, even though it's probably going to be bloody hard to Because definitely for that side, it's going to be nice. And I think here we want to probably do it at this height. There we go. It's pretty nice. And then we might want to add around a few of these things. Can we add a little bit of greenery in around the build? Keep the overgrown feeling of the normal ruins going a little bit more. Just a little bit here and there. Go. Maybe a little bit on top of here. And maybe just a little bit more like that. We could. That's quite nice. Just around the edges. Make it 3D. There we go. That works. It's a very simple tower, but... Oh, what the heck is that? What? That guy is probably looking for Santa Claus. I don't know what he's doing, but he's flying. It's quite a simple tower, but that's kind of what I was going for, just because we have such an elaborate tower right next to it. You kind of want to balance those things out, right? Because now that's still the eye catcher. We didn't do all that work just to build something great next to it. And also I didn't want to go too high there. Yeah, the flying moose is already attacking. Good thing the anti-air is up. There we go. Well, that definitely helps making this castle feel more like we're actually working on it, because from some angles it was really hard to see what we've done, but that's a good start. I think next time I'll start on this actual build, so we'll have the main building getting a little bit taller, and this one over here as well. Maybe we'll do like a little temple-y thing here for a tree. We could do it. And then the front gate, probably the stream after that. And then we might go around to do some of the town buildings. Because I feel like those will be the least interesting, because they will be very small, because most of these ruins are quite tiny. But yeah, we're getting there. It's a little bit of a slow progress, of course, because I'm also doing like a million other builds at the same time. But we're definitely getting there. We're definitely getting there. I'm a little bit disappointed that apparently, especially on official settings, it seems like you can't build in most of this, which is quite sad. Quite sad. Because it's such a cool place. Seems like it's made for building. Cruel thing. Also, why is there so many birds here? This is crazy. See, this is why we have the anti-air catapult. Look at this. They're clearly planning an attack. They're clearly planning something. It's very obvious. It's very, very obvious they're planning something to attack us. I wasn't paranoid. We are under siege. This cosmetic has a lot of options. Yes, even I don't know all of them. Like the first stream when I built this, Mikey showed up to tell me a lot of the variants, and then Aaron showed up as well to tell me even more about the variants. And I tried to remember as much as I could. But yeah, we only have 2 catapults so far. We have one over here, and now we have one over on the top. But we probably need one on every tower facing the outside, because we are under siege from a lot of RGs. But yeah, the castle's definitely starting to look more like a proper castle. So yeah. Yeah, the sharks, but I don't mind the sharks. That's my family. I like the sharks, although they are quite cruel and killing everything else. Oh, I'm too far away in photo mode, so now it is like there's no one here. Because on my private world, as you can see, I can go ridiculously far in photo mode because I just want to be able to take screenshots. But of course, it only loads everything around the player. The feather takeover. But you're actually guarding this place, Mr. Chicken. You're right here. You're guarding this place. Alright. I think that's going to be it for today, guys. I do like the progress we've made, especially the first tower. That's definitely the cool statement piece so far of the build. And hopefully we'll get some cool inspiration for the castle. If there's any particular castles that you'd like to see me emulate in ARK for the rest of the build, or for future castles, because I'm probably gonna do, I do want to do like a proper normal castle, not in a ruin, at some point as well. But at the moment I'm already building 2 castles, so I have to finish 1 castle before I start another, because I'm gonna be all castled out. But eventually I'll definitely be building more. So if you've got some inspiration, feel free to share them on Discord if you have any particular wishes, and who knows, but for now, thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hope to see you again in the next